So I guess this is as good of a view and or angle as I can possibly God first get when it comes to being, silent enough for you to hear my voice. And me to not have to talk overly loud so you can hear my voice. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, part two of, the second half of my story when it comes to everything that I'm introing in the second half of telling my story and being more vibrant with it. I want everybody to totally understand exactly where we're going with this, you know, because I want people to understand absolutely. I never wanted to sacrifice my family and friends for fame and fortune. One of the top two reasons why I didn't just go out on how many limbs, 18 plus, and just go out there and said, I'm grown now. Let me make my own decisions, like all my own decisions, and not care about what you think. Now, that doesn't mean that since turning 18 plus, because I'm 22, that I haven't obviously said, let me make my own decisions, or at least some of my own decisions, and live with them. Because what's the point in being 18 plus if you're still coddled like a, 14-year-old or something like that? What's the point? So I've definitely have had my times where I've been like, hey, let me make my own decisions. I am, old enough, if not grown up enough to just make my own decisions, and live with them. Because I'm telling you, people got to understand, you can't keep claiming your kid to be grown, but then holding them back from everything. That's, as I've said before, very double standard, hypocritical, and just shows you have more, immaturity than your son does or your daughter does, and so on and so on. People have to totally understand that, you really have to totally understand. You cannot keep on saying you want your kid to grow up, but then every chance they get to try to go out there and make their own decisions, pave their own path, and just run the tables on things, you just want to look at them in shame and a disgrace, that they're actually trying to pioneer something for their own selves, let alone tell your child how grown they are, and then every time they try to prove to you, yeah, I'm grown, okay, let me do this, let me do that, you try to hold them back from life. Ladies and gentlemen, for all parents out there, God bless your souls, but that is literally, if not double-stated hypocritical, that literally is a mental insecurity then. You have a mental insecurity. You want to claim your child to be grown, but then you don't want to let them actually be grown, be free to be grown, to make their own decisions. You want to stifle their growth and keep them sheltered, sheltered, huddled up underneath you. You have to understand, depending on what child you raise, that's like the kryptonite for most children. You can't keep claiming me as one thing, but then whenever I try to go out there and do my own thing, you want to just raise hell on me when I come back and so on and so on. You just can't do that, especially if I'm not actually out there committing crimes or anything like that, which is what I'm, alliterating for all kids out there in a matter of, especially if your kid's not out there committing crimes, or doing a bunch of ungodly stuff. You can't do that. Parents, you have to learn how to get better at living up to what comes out of your mouth, let alone living up to, letting your kids grow at their own pace. Stop forcing anything and everything on them just to get your way over them. Because I promise you, that's, again, ostracization. Your kids are never going to want to be around you ever again. And I've seen plenty of pictures that a lot of parents did do it right. They literally did do it right. Like, dare I say, Willie Robertson and his daughter Sadie Robertson. That's a celebrity example right there of two, of a parent that raised his daughter right, and his daughter knows it, and his daughter loves him and appreciates him for it. Let alone my friend, God bless my one of my friends. I'm not gonna mention her name here, but God bless her. She's a great example for this too. I can notice whenever she posts on her Snapchat about Happy Mother's Day, and all her mother has done for her, I can tell in her mother, and she looks exactly like her mother, exactly like her from the pictures that I've seen. But I can notice, I just noticed it when I've seen it on her Snap for Happy Mother's Day. I can see that her mother has raised her well, and her daughter knows it. And I'm telling you, that's what a lot of parents go so wrong in. You can raise your kids well. You can raise your kids right. And you don't have to be white, dare I say, in order to make it rhyme a little bit there. So no offense to anybody. I just wanted to make it rhyme a little bit. You literally can, raise your kids right. You absolutely can. But you have to have faith, number one. You have to know who God is. You have to be willing to seek out outlets and vices to help you and not be so self-centered and so stubborn, arrogant, prideful, self-righteous, probably a better word to put it all together, or put it all together. You cannot be self-righteous towards what you're doing. And that's exactly what I've experienced on so many different occasions. People are so self-righteous in what they're doing that they don't want to go out to any outlets for help. They just want to stay in their own bubble and pretend as if the way they've parented you or the way they treated you, period, is right. It's not. And they just want to stay in their bubble and just keep pretending to themselves and then wonder why their kid wants nothing to do with them. Let alone wants to pretend as if, oh, it's the kid